Well, hello there. Welcome to the Infinite Void. Just keeps going and going. I was bored. I figured I might as well stream for a little bit. Probably. Well, I don't know. Might stream for a little while. What else? Well, let me check. Make sure everything's still on. It is. So, been doing some death animations. Doing art again. Right. So I'll just show that off, I guess. One thing I wanted to show. Well, never mind. No, I've changed my mind. I'll show it in a second. Okay. So this is what I've been working on. Merman. This is what it finally looked like. So when he dies, he will burn up, and it goes through. Technically, there's 20 frames. The first 16 are just it filling up with fire, and the last 4 are like a repeating loop of it being on fire. So it turns on fire like this. I got a nice effect where the fire inverts the colors below it. And I was pretty happy with that. And if I go to this one, this is what it's like, just on fire. So it's not a it's a unique fire. It's not a black flame. It kind of is, but it's just a weird flame, right? And it's definitely not any of the other ones. So I'm gonna try and do this for the god that represents this as well. So that's what it's like while he's on fire. And what I'll do is in Game Maker, once he's on fire for a little bit, I will probably just make him like shift to black and then fade out or something like that. Or I'll do whatever it takes in Game Maker to burn him up from like bottom to top. So yeah, basically I've got half the animation here and the other half I'm going to do with coding. So it looks nice. I like how it all burns up, and I did all this with that one flame. It all looks different because of how it's randomly placed at different frames and at different orientations, different sizes. I think it's chaotic enough that you can't even tell that it's just the same flame over and over again. Right, so that's the Merman. I did this guy. This is the Mantis, the Monster Mantis. This character is inside one of the more dangerous forests in the game, and it's just supposed to be creepy. It just stands there. And it's actually a pretty basic enemy. All it does is slash forward or slash backward, depending on where the player is. And that's all it does, you know. It looks more, it's supposed to look more intimidating than it actually is, right? I want it to creep the player out, basically. And keeping that theme going, when it dies, instead of dying, I wanted it to just shoot off into the sky like this big blurry trail. And that's, you know, it's a single frame. I didn't really have to animate anything. But yeah, I think it's just kind of funny that you attack it for a while and then it just, you know, flies off, and you're sitting there wondering, like, was it coming back? Is it, what happened? You know, is this an attack? No, it just leaves, which is kind of cool. I like that it's one of the, I don't think I have, but like one other enemy maybe. There's not many that flee and you can't actually kill. It just takes off. But if it had any items, it'll drop them when it takes off, so that might give away that it's dead. So that's all it was, is I just put this frame, I just bent a couple things back and rotated its head and blended it, make it look okay. But I didn't actually have to animate anything. I just fingertip, gave it a big motion blur. So it'll be moving through the air so fast you won't even notice it, or you won't see it. That's what that's like. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Did poison center, poison spitter enemy spits little poison projectiles. That was the one that I did that made the little spherical poison thing. So that's done. All right, this is the poison runner. This is a passive creature. And I'll show it to you. This is like the high def version of him, but really he's super small. He's basically the size of what this thing is one of those Jesus lizards, or I don't remember the actual name of them, but yeah, if you've ever seen one of those lizards, they just run across. The name of it was just in my head, but anyway, yeah, they run across ponds or run across water, so I just want him to be sitting somewhere on the map, and if you get close to him, he just bolts and takes off and runs across the water. I thought it would be kind of cool. And the idea is it's going to be really hard to kill one because they run off so fast. But if you do manage to kill one, I got this animation that I'm doing right now. And it's just a silly one to where he'll bounce, and every time he bounces, he changes pose. So yeah, just imagine you hit him and he keeps moving because he was moving so fast is the idea. So he doesn't actually slow down. He just keeps bouncing in various poses, and it's very Looney Tunes, where yeah, he just bounces up in silly poses. It's supposed to be a goofy one when you kill this thing. And basically, I just got that idea. I was thinking of. Let me see this. Yeah, I was thinking of the Looney Tunes scene where Bugs Bunny does this and starts freaking out and going in all different poses. And I just took that idea, so all these poses are the same poses that Bugs was using. Thought it was funny. So that's where I referenced that. My hair's been bothering me. It's at that size to where just long enough to get my ears, my face, but not long enough that I can't tie it back yet. I can't grab enough of it to pull it back and tie it. So I guess for the next month or two, I'm just gonna have to wear headbands and hats and keep wetting it to keep it back out of my face. Anyway, yeah, so I just did the mask for this, and now I'm gonna shade and color it for the stream. So that's what this stream's gonna be about. Oops. I was watching a bunch of podcasts earlier. I was really enjoying that. But I don't know. I like changing it up. I find doing the same thing over and over is what bugs me. But as long as I keep shifting from one thing to the next, it's a lot more enjoyable as far as like background noise or whatever. So this one it doesn't have to be super amazing, because it happens so fast and they move so fast, and this is a very inconsequential character that I'm not going to be too worried about how he looks, as long as he's somewhat on character. You know, it's like whatever. Also, the way you kill these things, I want to make it to where it's just about impossible to kill it with the champion character. But like the Were-Raptor, she's fast enough she might be able to catch it and kill it. And the Shaman, who has ranged attacks, is probably the most likely person to kill it. There's no benefit to killing it, it's just a silly thing. So, yeah, this is a very inconsequential sort of animation. A lot of people won't even see it. Because I don't even think this enemy's gonna like drop anything special or anything like that. I'm gonna do the frill. Just because that frill sometimes goes behind the back. I might as well just do it. It was fun trying to get these poses to look like the ones that Bugs was doing. Because it's a very different shape, right? Like this to what happens in that cartoon. I think I did pretty good. I want to see this one in game. I have a feeling it's going to make me laugh. I just like the idea of a little lizard like bouncing along after you kill it or you hurt it. I mean, you don't even really see it die. It just gets hurt and then it constantly bounces up and down, swapping poses. Doesn't really lose any momentum. I do got to make sure wherever I place these guys, they've got to be able to get off the screen though. So it doesn't matter how you kill them, they're going to end up leaving the screen one way or another. Still been going through all those songs of game music. It takes a long time to look at them one at a time. I finished off all the PlayStation ones. Actually, a lot of those PlayStation songs that I had on there, I felt like they were all from the same 3 franchises, like Spyro, Crash, and Ratchet and Clank. There's a couple from other games, but clearly the person who put that playlist together was very biased, or they didn't play anything else. I mean, I've got a bunch of PlayStation songs on my original playlist. And I did add a couple of them. Like I really like the Twisted Metal 1 theme song. It's very good. Only problem with it is it's got sirens. I hate sirens in music. The worst thing ever. But outside of that, I mean, it's basically it's so good that I'm willing to ignore the siren part. So that should say enough, I think. That I do like it. I wasn't able to find any new headphones. I even tried to make my own headphone thing. Really, the perfect kind of headphones for me, I believe, would be headphones that don't sit on the ear. No, I don't want ear, I don't want head. I just want them to sit like right here and probably rest on the shoulders. Like I'm resting on the shoulders now, but I want them to just position here. And I tried to do it with some wire, but it is kind of, I don't know, it is a little annoying because when it's here, it'll also, you'll run into it if you're laying to the side. So not 100% ideal. But maybe it would be better if it's just on the head but off the ear. I can't stand having stuff on my ear anymore. And the sound, I don't know, if it's just a headphone on my ear, it makes my ear ring way worse. Even if it's turned like, even if it's really quiet. Like I just can't take it anymore. Honestly, more than anything, that's what keeps me from streaming more now, is because of that. I just hate headphones. Honestly, I might have to do streams where I just mute the mic so I can listen to stuff. Like I don't want to stream in absolute silence. But yeah, mute the mic so I can listen to stuff. And I don't know. The problem with that is I'm not going to talk then, right? I'll have to unmute the mic and mute whatever I'm listening to. So I end up just never saying anything. It makes for a really dull stream. I haven't really found a solution for that yet. Let's redo that. I wonder if there's a way to automatically do that. Make it to where anytime my mic picks up me talking, it'll mute a speaker that I'm listening to so that the speaker noise doesn't go into the mic. Just a way to automate it. That might be annoying though. Basically, every time I clear my throat, my speaker would be turning off. Well, maybe that will make me stop clearing my throat as much on stream too. I can't help it. When I start, it's got something to do with me just talking when I usually don't talk much. It makes my throat itch. Right now I'm thinking about it, so it's itching. This is one of the animations that I did. This one's pretty early, so you can see how the shadows jump around a lot. It looks a lot rougher than the animation of this guy. I think I was doing highlights on his body. Show it here in a second. Yeah, that's what it looked like, and you'll see like all the shadows on him dance around each frame. This looks unusual. But there's no point. That's just coming from shading separately every single frame instead of copying and pasting the stuff that doesn't move. Like here, if I'd have just taken this frame and copied and pasted it, the only thing that's changing is the light up on the tail, so there's no reason for it to look all weird. But one of the reasons I'm not going to fix it is because it's so small. Once you've sized it down, you don't see it as bad. And it can kind of look a bit unique, like maybe his, I don't know, skin is glistening or something. So I'm just kind of ignoring it and letting it go. Was that the last one? Yeah. And we color them. Let's see if I have a palette somewhere. I might. I don't know, maybe not. He's only got like 2 colors to choose anyway. Yeah, I don't think any of these have a palette on it. What's in this folder? Let's look through all these old files. Oh, okay. Oh, I even have the drawing that I did. That was the drawing. You can see that I way more high fidelity. I lost a lot of that detail when it came to animating it. You can't draw like that, I don't know, in the animation. Well, I mean, you could, and I've done it, but actually, the more busy it is, the more complicated it is to view. Kind of strange. Like, you think if you shaded really well and made basically every frame a painting, that it would look good, but it actually looks way more messy when you do it that way, because it's a lot more information that you're asking the person to take in. And I don't know, there's something about making things, I don't know, animation's more about things reading easily more so than it being lifelike. And you lose a lot of the personality if you make it too lifelike. Like, what makes it good is some of the jank of it. I don't know. Oh man, look how bad the mask is in this. Yeah, it was before I knew. I had no idea what the hell I was doing when I was doing this. That's why I did all these insignificant guys first. Alright, yeah, definitely not a palette. But what I can do is just go to the color layer. That one's just shadow. That one's got color. Okay, cool. So we just take this, turn that off, turn this to normal, and those are the actual colors. I'm gonna guess this is a black color. Let me just look. It might be a dark blue. It looks kind of like a dark blue. A very dark blue. Honestly, it looks like this. It is not. It's darker than that. Oh well. Maybe this one? Wait, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. I've identified it. It's that bottom one. Try and remember that. Okay, now that I got that, I'll fix this back to what it was. Overlay. Flip. There we go. So now I'll just quickly make him the main color. Cool. And now I'll grab that blue, this one, and we'll just color in the parts. Honestly, one of them's so easy, I'm gonna go ahead and do the eye. I mean, I actually might be able to just use fill tool. It's not like there's any tight spaces here. Should go by pretty quick. Yep. Not that quick. Oh, I forgot I'm gonna have to do his nails too. So, yeah, it'll take a little bit. Okay. Started growing my hair out. I actually hate everything about growing my hair out. So it's like, then why are you doing it? It's really just because I've never done it before. My entire life. And I don't know, it just seems like a shame to have never had long hair. Even though I have the ability to grow it, I should at least try it. Like where it is right now is like every day is the longest it's ever been. I think before this, longest I ever got it was basically when it gets into the eyes. That's when I cut it. So I've always been the type of person to cut it really short. But honestly, I think I look better with short hair. And I say that as a person who's growing it out. It's kind of weird. It's like I feel like I found my favorite hairstyle immediately when I was a little kid. I don't know. I hate having something brushing on my face and ears constantly. It also makes me hot. Very hot-headed person. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I want to get it long, at least long enough to tie up. Figure I could like at least devote like 2 years to it or something, right? Before I finally cut it off and then never go back. But at least then I can say I've done it, you know. Oh yeah, he's got a tongue here. I have to color that. I'll do some sort of blue or purple, I think, or an orange. A reddish orange would look nice. I might decide to make a palette swap with this guy and put him somewhere else in the game too. Currently, I've only really got an idea of him going in one spot, so he's kind of a one-off character. Just shows up in one area, runs away. There it is. I love how it's gonna be funny. I love how all these silly poses. It's very Looney Tunes. Obviously. Alright, well, that's it. Combine them together. The shading is going to look a bit different. Maybe I should just go ahead and reshade real quick. It wouldn't take me very long. All I'm doing is the shading, right? I think I will. I'm doing the thing that I said I wouldn't do, and I'm going to fix something. I say that. The next one I'm going to work on, I was planning on fixing, so I'm going to break the rule now or next animation regardless, so I might as well fix this guy while I'm at it. Okay, well. I don't know. Maybe I should have kept those animation folders. Might as well put them all in one folder. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of at a point where I've got to fix this one to look like that one, but I might as well make that one look like this one if I'm going to do that, right? So, alright, let's just repair the old one. I mean, I wouldn't do this if it was a much larger one, but this guy's only 18 frames. And all I'm doing is shading, so. Should go by pretty quick. What are all these layers? That was the outline. That's the glow on top. I don't know what the hell this was. It might not even be anything, and I just left it in there. Well, that's the color. This one's definitely the shading. There shouldn't be any shading on him anywhere. Wow, his arm actually... Oh, because he breathes. That's right. I didn't even see that before. I think all the extra shading... See, that's what kind of what I was... A good example of what I was talking about is all the extra shading actually makes it read worse. Because, yeah, it was moving around, but the breathing is not as obvious. I mean, okay, it kind of is if you look at it. But I think it wasn't drawing the eye much, or it wasn't that obvious. I don't know. Let me fix that. I'm going to remove this one. I don't want the color. The color's distracting. Also, if glow shows up, I should hide that too. So this must be the one that adds the color for the glow. Kind of weird. I'm trying to decipher what I did in the past here. So clearly my operation has changed since back then. Alright, so this is actually pretty easy. I'm just going to do a lot of copying and pasting. Okay, so the little bit around the arm, I don't want to shade. Everything else gets shaded. And the run animation, the arms and legs don't get shaded. Everything else is shaded. Okay, that's simple enough. Let's do that. That's it. I'll copy that, and then I'll do the other parts on their own. Okay, one thing I do want, I want to make sure the ear is shaded. I'll put a little bit in the ear. I don't know. I don't want to overdo it. I think that's fine right there. Actually, that's kind of crap. You know what? Fuck the ear. Whatever, let's copy it. 2 to 6. No wait, some of these don't move, do they? It looks like 2 of these do not move at all. They were ones where they the glow or something. I don't know. There might be two unnecessary frames in here completely. That could have happened. I wonder if this one, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just duplicate them. But I gotta look at it now. I wonder if this changes from here. 5 and 6 look to be the same. So 5, 6, and 1, all the exact same. It doesn't even glow. That's just completely two unnecessary frames that aren't doing anything. Why are they even in here? It's just extra memory. I mean, I might as well get rid of them, right? Let me look at the color and see if any... Why are they in here? Probably just because I was a big old dum-dum and didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, 5 and 6 are completely unnecessary. Unfortunately, to remove them from the timeline and all these different I know what I'll do. I'll just make a little note to cut these two out. Cut that out. Cut that out. So that way when I when I go and combine all these together, I know to just ignore these two frames. Because those two frames do jack shit. And it's just a waste of memory. Okay. One thing I didn't do, I should have definitely shaded. Well, now I've only got to copy a couple. I should shade the hands. Because the chest moves, but the hands do not. So I'm going to do that real quick. If that's not going to change. And this isn't going to change. Okay, I want to copy that. Now it's going to be way more obvious that he's breathing. It's just going to be less distraction. And the only movement's going to be coming from the things that actually move. I'm not going to do anything else. It's kind of a really bad animation for breathing too. You're not gonna fix that. We'll move on from that. That's cool. Alright, next. Okay, so the next thing that's gonna copy. Okay, well, here's a little thing. When it stays motionless like this, dancing shadows are really bad. But when it starts moving, like these frames, you don't notice them because there's also the movement of actual movement. So I don't have to worry so much about this frame and this frame being exactly the same, right? Because the fact that it's moving from here to here is going to make that, like, you're not even going to see it anyway. And really, I could apply that philosophy to the whole thing, but at some point it's like you might as well just copy paste where you can. But okay, I'm gonna do this one, and this one, and then I'll copy paste 9 onwards. That was terrible. Basilisk lizard, that's what that thing's called. I mean, it's also referred to as a Jesus lizard because it could run on water. But yeah, it's actually a basilisk, like the fantasy creature. I know the fantasy creature more than I know the actual thing. Like, if you're gonna say basilisk, the first thing that pops in my head is not this lizard, it's a six-legged horror monster that turns people into stone. That's just, you know, basilisk to me. Okay, so arms and legs change here. I don't want to draw those. I can do everything else. I think tail changes too, right? No, tail doesn't change at all. I know the chest doesn't move right. The one thing I can do here, I want this to go up a little more. I want this to go that way. That way it includes the swinging part. Even though I'm kind of like drawing outside the lines that I want. But I'm kind of like planning ahead. So when I copy this, I won't have to like repair them later and I can just erase here. I'll go ahead and do 8, 7. Okay, so I'm just gonna repair that spot, those spots now. Oops. It's a slippery slope. Improving old animations. I watched a lot of those game developer GDCs and documentaries and whatnot, where a game developer will go down this rabbit hole of improve your old work. Because you're constantly getting better as you're making like a large project, right? It makes sense. So it's really easy to get in your head, well, let me just go back and fix this stuff and fix this stuff and fix this stuff. And by the time you're at the end of it and you've fixed everything, now you're so good that you look back at the thing that you fixed originally and you're like, well, I can do better than that. Kind of weird. But it's totally a thing that happens. I think I have to worry about that. Well, I could definitely become susceptible to it. Like, I'm kind of doing it now by fixing this instead of just moving on. But I do think I'm pretty good at moving on too. Mostly just because I'm lazy enough to just be like, yeah, okay, screw it. I don't want to do it. I already got it done, you know. Why would I want to do it again? These tiny fingers make it kind of hard to know how to shade it. Okay. And that right there is enough. Now you should be able to directly compare what I had before with what I'll have now. And you can look at it and say, okay, yeah, it's better. Or maybe you don't agree. I think it's better. Oh, one thing I left out, I forgot to do his stomach. It'd be nice to get that shadow on the fin, but there's no easy way to do it. And it's unnecessary. Alright, cool. So what I'll do... That's odd. I've got 18 frames here. Why do I have 18? Oh, it must have something to do with the way it glows, right? Well, let's track this. Right, so this is the beginning of running. No glow. Beginning of running, no glow. There's zero reason to have 18 frames. This is just repeating twice. I think I know why I did this. This was to make a GIF. So I added some extra ones in there just to show the full run. Okay. That's dangerous. Look, it's not going to matter for any of these ones that I'm doing. But if I added frames for that reason, very easy to forget that. And just do a bunch of unnecessary ones. Actually, 13 was too many. Okay, you know what? Delete both of these. Deleted. Let's just do the ones that matter. Okay. Well, I should have done this backwards. It's better if it's backwards. It's really easy to screw up while doing this. Accidentally combine two frames together. Okay. That should be all of them. I don't know what this song is, but I don't like it. Xenon. It's 6 minutes of the same thing. Yeah, I want to exclude songs like that from the playlist, and ones that get copyrighted too. There's now 11 frames. Hopefully, by writing new in caps, I remember to save these and not just do the death animation. Alright, so that's done. Death animations. New other ones. And saved. Move some of these around. Alright, next is Sand Snake. So this one is another one that I'm going to completely redo. His death animation. Oh yeah, so this is the other guy that flees. I couldn't think of a way to kill him, so I thought it would just be okay if he burrows under the ground and, you know, takes off. So this is going to be another like that. So there's a lot about this guy I did not like. And a lot of that became apparent when I put him in game. So some things that suck about him is one is his texture that I applied to him. It moves constantly. because I did it frame by frame. I'll go ahead and do this real quick. Okay, it'll be easier to see them on black. I'm gonna need those later anyway. So yeah, his texture moves frame by frame. You can see it just moving all over the place. Kind of looks like he's got ants all over him or something. And also this little effect. This was supposed to be his like damaging attack, but I do not like it. It looks really bad in game too. So I'm gonna redo that as well with something new. It's obvious when you use cheap lightning effects, I found. Using the little lightning brush does not look very good when you put it in a game. I do like how everything, his eyes and his little fins and stuff glow. I'm gonna keep that. I like them. I like the colors I've used too. Like honestly, even the texturing thing is kind of cool. I just gotta make sure that the texture change or it doesn't shift every frame. It only shifts on the stuff where he moves. And that was a really good one. It's a shame that I have to redo that. Good motion blur. Okay. Let's see what's inside these folders. I think this is all about adding glow to it. What it looks like. Yeah, this one has no glow. It's just a sketch of the strike. That's the tail. That was the rough sketch. That's the old drawing. I had it look more like an eel before. But it's going to be put in like a desert area, so I changed it. Be like brown and yellow. Okay, where do I start to fix this? I think outline should be fine. There shouldn't be anything wrong with the outline in any of this. But other than that, I should probably redo everything else. Basically, and this, what I was doing before, is kind of dumb. Maybe I should just get rid of everything but the outline and do it all from scratch. I think that's a smart thing to do. There's extra frames here that don't need to be in, I don't think. Yeah. Okay, let's get rid of everything but the outline, I think. I hate deleting stuff. I always feel like you never know when you're going to need something. But I think I do want to delete everything. I do have this one up here for reference. Just in case, but I'm going to delete everything. Go away. This one, this is all the glow stuff, right? It also has how I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm getting rid of this whole folder as well. I don't want any of that stuff. We're gonna do it from scratch. And now I need to break this down into its components. Alright, and that's pretty simple. I just get rid of all the extra stuff. You're now number 1. You're now number 2. We're converting this over into my new way of doing things. And this will look good. I already know. See, I had like no confidence in myself to be able to look at this and figure out how to make it go back and forth. So I like tended to add all the extra frames, and it ended up just, it balloons the project, you know, too much. So instead, I just do like the 3, and I know that these 3 repeat. I'm smart enough to figure that out when I put it in game. There was no reason to do all that. So these 3 are the idle, and it just goes back and forth, right? 4's unnecessary. 5's unnecessary. 6 is where it starts to strike. Okay, so what was it? It was 5's unnecessary. So this is our new 4. And these 2 are unnecessary, so we just cut off a ton of frames. I'm going to add some more in when I do effects, but I'll do it differently. There's no reason to add the effects on the entire creature. You know, unless it affects the creature like the fire did to the merman. That one was a different example because I need my fire to change the color of the merman underneath. But usually that just ends up being extra, that's wasted memory. Like it bloats the game with unnecessary junk that you have to load and save. Alright, so that should be all the new frames. Okay. Go ahead and it's just easier to make a new folder at 9 frames than it is to erase stuff from a timeline. Like, look, I'll go up to 9. Delete these. Move this into that folder. Then there you go. Everything's set on the timeline correctly now. And it won't go over. Now I can actually set this to be 9 where it should be. Okay. Now we're just going through the 9 we need. Now, I'll go through this and make sure these lines are clean enough. Might as well. They look okay. I mean, you know, whatever. They're not terrible. They don't look as good as my new ones. Yeah, I think that's fine. Honestly, while I'm doing this, I should go ahead and just draw the death animation as well. And add it on to this. So I'm gonna end up... Let's see, I'll take the first one, or I'll take this one out. This is technically our start frame. That's fine. Let's just do a... Is that right? Yeah, it is. Okay. Burrowing into the ground is going to take a couple frames. Luckily it's a snake. It's not that hard to animate. Just I'm going to have to draw him, I don't know, going into the ground, the whole thing. I feel like it's going to take a bunch of frames to get through that. Let's just do like 6 to start with. Yeah, I'm just gonna rough this in. So head would dip down. Head would dip down. And he's gonna be like disappearing here, right? Like the head's gone now at this point. It's kind of Kind of crazy, but okay, this is like that. And then as it's going in, this is more like this. And at this point, it's more like that. And yeah, I'm just kind of like, the coils have to come out as it goes in. But the bottom coils aren't changing until we get to it. I think that's the way to do it. That means it's going to be a lot more than 6 to get that across. We're like halfway through the body right now. And I think at this point, something crawling on me right now. Bug. At this point, I need the tail to like swoop around too. So we'll have it come over to here. Okay, this will just keep being like this. Now this is going that way. This is coming here. Oh my god, we need more frames. Yeah, this ain't gonna be an easy one. But luckily we're in the home stretch here. We're back to 13, so 9 is now this, which is this, and then that. Finally, I'd say that before going away. Maybe one more. One more. It's a 14 frame death animation. It's quite a lot. That's the tip of the tail disappearing. So it'll look like this. Basically, the coil is uncoiling as it's all going underground. And we're hiding the fact where it goes underground with the tail. So we can cheat a lot of it. It's kind of hard to follow, but it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, honestly, yeah, it shouldn't be that bad to animate because a lot of this doesn't actually change for a bunch of it. But it is 14 frames, which is unfortunate. Okay, before I do this, is there any reason I shouldn't just do a normal death animation? Because this is 14 frames, which is going to be a lot more than if I did a 6 frame kind of death animation. Let me think about, maybe I want to do a different death animation. And in fact, let's look at our list of death animations and see what we haven't used. Because we've already used Flea. There's no reason it has to be that. Okay, so we still have Fuse. That works pretty well with the snake. Fuse explosion. We haven't used acid, steam, or boiling. We haven't used ice or stone. Stone could work, though it's a bit supernatural. Haven't used revive, fade away, servants flee, sucked into the void. And that's it. What else would be appropriate? Falling is bad. Slumping is bad. Fly falling is bad. I think that's a good way to do it. Now that I've made this huge list of deaths, I just go through them one at a time and see if I can imagine it. Spinning's bad. I don't want it to burn in the fire. I don't want it to explode into pieces. The fuse makes sense. I could see that. So it's silly. I mean, it exploding in any type of fashion doesn't make a lot of sense. It does have like some electricity thing, but yeah, I don't like it. It getting crushed doesn't really work. Okay, can it be impelled? Not really. We could behead it. Not much. We could split it. But not really. I don't know. I can't think of a good way to split a snake that's coiled up and make it look good. Spawn parasites, splitting the new monsters. Not really, not really. Death throws. Is there anything that it could do as like a death throw? Oh, that was my original idea, wasn't it? It was to have it when snakes pretend to die or actually die and they're coiled up. Usually they just kind of like flip on their back or, you know. So that's something I could do. But I feel like, I don't know, that might be annoying to animate or make look good. I mean, I'll end up doing a bunch of them anyway. Let's see, we got melting, self-destructing. I could do something with the lightning because it's electrical. It has attacks that are electrical. Actually, it doesn't even have to have attacks that are electrical now. The thing is, I'm redoing it. I could just like say it does something else. The idea is it sends off the electricity just so it has an attack that'll attack all the way around it and it doesn't have to turn around. So if you try and jump over it or whatever, it might hurt you. I still like that. I can't think of any better way to do that. I don't want it to be able to like turn. I don't want to animate any of that stuff. So we're gonna keep it electrical. I don't know. I went through them all and I couldn't think of anything better than it fleeing. I don't know. Yeah, the obvious ones to me seem like it turning on its side or like, you know, coiling the other way or having it like roar, like lift its head, make a noise and then just kind of flop. So it's kind of like falling. Seems like the way that a snake would die, or a monster snake. Beheading is appropriate for a snake. It's kind of what happens to snakes. They get their heads cut off. I'll think about it for a second. Trying to picture different types of deaths. Yeah, the easier, the better, honestly. Because it's such a large creature. If it can just kind of die quickly, that would be nice. I don't know, the lightning thing. I could use that. I could have it like bite itself and electrocute itself to death, right? Like the player's not electrocuting it, but it can electrocute itself. Like how most snakes, if they bite themselves, they're actually not immune to their own poison. They'll just die. So we could apply that to the electricity thing. I kind of want to justify a supernatural death. Ooh, that's right. One of my gods is a snake. It kind of makes sense that this thing would have snake in it. Oh, I could totally use that, and that means I could just turn it into stone or something. That would be a type of death I haven't done yet. And we can explain that by saying that it's part of that god's domain. I'm liking this because it's the easiest way to do it too. All I have to do is change the color into a gray, right? Do I want to have it like shatter? or crack. I like the idea that you have to wonder whether it was a statue all along or what. I have differently ordered facial hair. Well, I have longer hair now. Starting to grow. But no, it's basically the same. A bit bushy. Thinking about trimming it a bit. I don't know. My beard shifts between long and short a lot. Okay, I like this idea. We're going to turn it into stone. It's the easiest thing to do. If I want to do that, maybe I change the yellow color to white. Yes, I've always had a beard. What are you talking about? Look at me. Yeah, okay, we're turning it to stone. It's the easiest thing to do. I'm pretty sure I could actually do that without even changing the color. I just changed the saturation and brightness to do that too. That is so much better than doing it this way. Okay, so cool. All I gotta do is fill this in. Let's do it. Duplicate. Move down. How are you doing? You made me want to play some retro games again. I was thinking about actually downloading that one that you were playing, or looking for it. Now that save states are a thing, you can actually beat games like that. As long as you're willing to cheat. Oh, we're talking about what is it? The one of Star Wars SNES games. Return of the Jedi. There it is. It's not the one that I always think of. The one I always think of is the one where like the first boss was the sandworm. That's the one that always comes to mind for me, and that game was hard as fuck. Alright. Those games came out much later than the movies, didn't they? Like, I'm feeling... Yeah, movies were 70s. Those games were like... in the 90s. It's kind of cool that they would do them in order, though. Lego Star Wars. Oops. You know what? Let's undo that. Let's just do this again because I got distracted. I'm just doing, well, I was doing death animations, but this character is one of the, there's only a handful that I really hated that I did, and this is one of them, so I'm redoing him almost entirely. Besides, like, some of this is still good. The line work here is good. But I didn't like the way I was doing my shading and texturing back during this time. So, oh, and the effects on them were really bad. So yeah, just doing it all again. "15 years, that sounds right." That back, that back tail line changes. Look at it. It does not stay consistent at all. Like this one, I'm pretty sure there should be some openings. I feel like I want to fix that so it's more consistent. It's not that hard to fix. But it would mean I'd have to do everything I just did over again. Whatever, let's do it. That's my fault for not identifying that to start with. This. I'm gonna copy this to make sure it remains consistent throughout. Yeah, look, it would be there in all these frames, that line, and it would show up here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So just 4 frames. Yeah, I was playing, oh, what did I play? I played all kinds of, a bunch of NES games that I wanted to play again. There's, Milan's Secret Castle, Double Dribble, a which has the worst voiceover ever. NES error, you can't understand what the hell he's saying. He says double dribble, but it sounds like Habokibble. Kind of funny. I played Jaws. I still can't beat Jaws. That is a hard game. Well, I don't know if it's, I would say hard. It's it's a confusing game. It is kind of challenging. You've got to like play it for a very long time and not make any mistakes. I think that's where the difficulty is. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And not to mention, I'm pretty sure it's a Japanese dude saying it. So that just adds a little extra. Trying to do it in English. I don't know, they might have had an English voice actor. I doubt this information is available on Wikipedia. But you never know. Some people are weird when it comes to finding out the obscure facts of old stuff. Oh, what happened there? That was wrong. That was crap. Try that again. Double Dribble. Yeah, it was like one of the first basketball games. Or definitely the first one on NES. I know there's a bunch of like handheld basketball games And all the sports game had handheld stuff before consoles came out. Okay, that looks better. I played a lot of the NES games that I wanted to play. Like, heck, it was only a month or two ago I re-beat Super Mario World for the, I don't know, dozenth time. I love that game. And I was also just playing through a lot of the early Mega Man X games. Not a big fan after the first two, but I didn't get to number 4. I just quit at 3. I need to keep going and try 4 through 8 or whatever. Bubsy. I mean, Bubsy's popular now because of Donkey. Video game Donkey. He's got a whole bit about that, so I didn't know much about it. Not Bubsy. I think there was one, I don't know if it was Bubsy or not. There's one Super Nintendo game that I played that had a kind of dead mascot character. You know, no offense, but God is. He definitely is. He's as dead as Gex is. Unless they've recently had a Bubsy game. I doubt it. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. I just remember one stage that had like carnival music. Being actually like a really fun stage or something. What's going on here? That might have been Bubsy. I don't know. Did Bubsy have a 2D game or did he start in 3D? Because that would answer it. Oh, I played Gex a lot. I don't know why. It's really bad now, but for some reason I thought he was funny as hell back then. But you if you replay it, it's like, oh, this humor sucks. What the hell was I thinking as a kid? He says a lot of things that kids would find funny, I think. While sane adults are like rolling their eyes. A lot of fart jokes. Which always seemed kind of weird to me because, I don't know. Lizards do fart. But it's unusual. Because there's no butt cheeks. It feels wrong. And I say that as a person that has drawn a lot of lizard folk. I don't think most of those 3D platformers didn't age well. Oh, what I really liked was Croc. That one I played a lot of, and I still really, that one I do have a soft spot for. A lot more than Gex. Croc was really good. I love the music in it, if I didn't just say that. Honestly, I think Croc might have been my first 3D platformer I ever played. I never owned an N64, so that might be true. Well, I guess you could call Crash Bandicoot as sort of a 3D platformer. It's a little different from your average one, but there's definitely levels that are, well, I don't know. Would you consider Crash Bandicoot a 3D platformer? Because they're usually done in like a 2D scene if they do platforming. I guess it technically is. It's just an unusual one. Never owned a PlayStation 1, man. A lot of my favorite games are from PlayStation 1. Okay, so to fix this is a bit different. There we go. I did PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. PlayStation 1 made me a big fan of PlayStation. But after 2 is when that wore off. Where I was like, okay, I swapped to PC then. I definitely need to do this. See, I don't do this kind of thing anymore. I'll have these like, I'm a lot better at making lines line up better and actually connect. But back in the day when I was doing this animation, I clearly had mistakes because here we have two lines that don't actually intersect, and here we don't have a line that doesn't actually touch, and it causes problems like this. Which, yeah, that's the reason you gotta make sure that stuff is good. Otherwise you do all this cleanup work trying to fix that. And here I am doing cleanup work on something a second time around because I didn't like the way it was done the first time around. So I've screwed myself twice over with those sloppy outlines. Okay, that's a good mask though. So that part's done. I'm gonna keep the black. Alright. Shading. I think we're gonna have to make a bigger line for this. Well, maybe not. It's actually pretty big. The only thing that changes here is the tail. So I can do everything but the tail. And actually a lot of the shading copies into these frames too. How do I do this? Maybe I start up here and copy it through everything. No, I'll just erase it later. I think it'll be fine. Okay, I have a plan. Plan of action. Actually, yeah, that line feels a bit thick. Honestly, yeah, that line feels way too thick. Let me crank her down a bit. Oh, right. We were talking about death animations, right? So check out what I did. I'm pretty sure I did this after we had our conversation. I went through and made a list of every single type of death I could think of, of a way, you know, things can die. And we're actually about to add this one. If it's got stars by it, it's something that I put in my game. And if it doesn't, it was something that I could still do. But yeah, like just different ways things can die. So doing it this way has helped me figure out the last couple death animations for like making them unique and not boring. I'm kind of happy with what I've been coming up with. Instead of going with the old fall over or burn, you know, catching the fire, even though actually catching the fire was one of them. But you get the idea. Instead of doing really boring deaths, I've got some interesting stuff. The biggest one was I never had an enemy that like splits into multiple enemies when it dies. So I was able to work that in. Which we'll get to him. I think he's the next drawing I do. I've got this turtle enemy that I'm gonna make it to where he looks like a turtle, but when you kill him, all I have to do is have the shell pop off, and then you know, it subverts the expectation. It's actually, the shell is not, you know, it's not a turtle. It's a parasite that's living on top of a lizard thing. I think that's really cool. And it's not going to take a lot of animation because I'm just going to have the shell like float around. So it's pretty easy to do. It should be, at least. I haven't done it yet, but I believe. I think that should be good. I'll copy that. I think I should copy all the way up to like here, and then I need to start editing it. I can clean this up now. Oh yeah, definitely gotta clean it here, so before I copy it a bunch, might as well do that. So I'll clear all that and then just kind of soft erase it. I'm not going to be able to get it perfect, but I can get kind of close. And seeing as it's close to the area that changes, it makes sense that it might shift a little in between frames. I think it's better to just copy from here. Ah, fuck, I don't even know. No, it doesn't matter, as long as... No, yeah, okay, I know what to do here. Honestly, I already kind of fucked up. I should have put this frame on the 9th frame as well, so I make sure that I lead back into what it's supposed to be when it returns back to 1. Oops. Well, okay, let's grab this one because it's the most open and just put it on 9. So we'll do 9 first, so that 8 blends into 9. Then actually, yeah, the tail's at the right spot anyway. So it's actually working out pretty well. Okay, that'll match up pretty well. Yeah, the rest of it changes enough. Damn, maybe I should have kept the tail though. Because that tail doesn't change much. Well, fuck. Okay, I'm gonna copy this back into 4. Clearly, it was not as simple as I thought it was gonna be. Okay. Now we can copy. Oh, this is a shame. Because I want to keep the tail for these frames up here. Okay, yeah, I know what to do. I just delete these two. Alright, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just fix them all. It'll be fine. Alright. Yeah, there's no easy way to do that. if I want to stay consistent. Okay, so it'll shift a little bit, but not terribly bad. Everything else is remaining the same. Now we just do the parts. Oh, this is going to be turned into a big blur anyway. Whatever. Welcome back. Okay, I think that's fine for the shadow. Okay, what are we gonna do with color this time around? Thinking of changing it a bit. Like the brown and yellow work pretty well from before. Like this. I think maybe it's a little bit of a too dark of a brown though. Do a bit like that. It's kind of coffee colored though. Let's just try some other things. Okay, that's way too dark. I want it to be kind of dark, so maybe this type. Brown just works in the location it's going to be in really well, and it goes good with yellow. That's a little bit lighter without looking too much like he's made out of chocolate. I think I'll go with this. I don't think I'm going to do any texturing. Every time I try to do that, it just never turns out quite right. It's very hard to put textures on an animation. Really, I'm just going to do the fins and the eyes in a bright yellow, like I did before. Sadly, it's all spiky, so I'm gonna have to I mean, I can get most of it done with the fill tool, but I'm gonna have to go in there and fix it all. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. 2 hours. Yeah, we're gonna do a longer stream. Right. I feel like I've been cutting out a lot of stuff from the streams. I don't know, I feel like, seeing as I'm uploading them to YouTube, like I don't want to have a bunch of boring silence like I have now. Even less so. I don't know, that's a weird thing. Really, what does it matter? It seems so weird to me that I was doing 16-hour streams, I don't know, I'm at 2 hours now. I feel like it's been a while. I must have been really lost in it or whatever to do streams that long. Yeah, we could do it this time. I'm feeling good. We can go the whole 16 hours. No, I think I can't do that anymore. Just because I go kind of stir crazy now. I'm constantly swapping between like music, podcasts, documentaries, like streaming is one of them. Like it's kind of hard for me to just do one thing all day as a background noise. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, if I go like another hour or two of this, I'll just want to turn off the stream so that I can actually listen to something else. Where's that little black line there? Is that here? Yeah. Let me fix that. Yeah, I think actually now that I think about it, the way I was doing it before, I was just cutting off the music and I'd watch whatever the fuck I wanted to, and if anybody actually showed up in chat and started talking, I'd just turn that off and swap back over to normal mode so that I can actually talk on the mic. Maybe I'll just do that again. So basically I'm gonna listen to whatever the hell I want, and if somebody happens to show up to chat, then I'll just turn it off. Or if I'm doing like my intro, exit, whatever. Okay, that should be it. That. Well, technically I would put some white in here when I do the glow, but I'm not gonna do that this time. You know, we'll do it a little differently. Alright, we want to do a glow layer. Because I mean the channel, it's only ever gonna grow if I'm hitting certain time slots. If I'm just doing an hour a day, there'll never be anybody in here. Unless I just happen to get somebody that's exploring during that hour. I might have to add some white. I don't know, it looks kind of cool being a flat yellow. I wonder if it'll look better if I did it each time, like the glow has some flicker to it. Well, it's not too hard to, let's just test that. I'll just erase it if I don't like it. No, it looks worse as it shifts around like that. Now we know. Try something different. My dog really wants my attention. What are you doing? I don't want to play with you right now. Stop pointing your butt at me. Thanks for stopping by. Can't really do that, can I? Okay, I like this. I just need to make it different. Let's make it bigger. Yeah. A nice light trail that follows. Just gotta draw a couple thousand lines until I get one that I like. Okay, I'll go with that one. This will look good with the motion blur, I think. Later on. It's not showing that one frame. There we go. You know, I'm gonna do that thing I did. Let's do this too. Okay. Now, go ahead and combine all this together. And then do the effect. And the death. Basically, we're just back to where we started. Ooh, I recognize this one. Yes! I might put Intelligence Cube on here. Man, playing Intelligence Cube again. I love the music in that game. That's something I didn't really remember that well. I remember really liking the game when I was in high school or something. I don't know. It was before high school, middle school. Yeah, I remember really liking it while I was playing it. But I didn't remember how good the music is. Or I just think it's a really good game. Intelligence Cube. I want to play it again. I really like it. It's a good game. And it's something that I don't see anybody talk about ever. I don't know if many people have played it. But I'm glad it ended up on this playlist. I'm definitely going to put it in my playlist. Now that I think about it, I should go ahead and copy it real quick. Just to make sure I get it. Okay, I got it. Alright. So, let's add this stuff together. I think well, it'll be fine. I was kind of worried that there wasn't enough anticipation before this attack. But honestly, to fix that, all I have to do, I should keep all this in the folder just in case. All I have to do is, I don't know, slow down the frame before he attacks. And yeah, it'll be a surprise the first time you see this thing, if you get close to it. But I think a normal person will look at it and go, it's a snake, it'll bite. If it's an enemy. So don't get too close to it until you see what its attack does. And this is in the more difficult area, so I think I feel alright making it bite you suddenly if you get close within striking range. I might, but I need to give you enough time to jump out of the way just in case. So there's only like one frame here where it goes to strike. So really I just need to pause at this frame for like half a second to give the player time to register that an attack's coming. Alright, so now that I've combined it, this one here, I'm going to do some blurring. I did it so well last time. After it's on a different layer, but yeah, I like what I did here. And it looks a little weird, but yeah, I just gotta pull from like the eye back through the neck, the front of it. See if I can do that. Oh, no. I don't want it to get so blurry. You can't tell what the hell is happening. I made this trail, so this trail can actually kind of have the same effect as the motion blur anyway. It's kind of hard to get a good motion blur sometimes. I think the best thing I can do is shrink this brush down and do it little piece by piece. It's easy to like morph it way too much. Oh. Oops. Yeah, the extra like light trail, I think, makes it look kind of cool. So I don't think I did the motion blur as good this time. But that's fine. Okay, cool. So that's basically what I had before. So old version. Old and busted. Which is not going to look too much different other than the way the shading works and that texture thing works. That's old and busted. New and hotness. Oh yeah, the motion blur I did here was really good. I don't know why, it just looks better than what I just did. The eye looks good. I think it's because I was brave enough to pull more of the eye out. But it didn't deform it that much. Nah, okay, I'll just have to stop. If I mess with it too much, I'm end up never being happy, so. Alright, so this thing. What was wrong with it? This part, the effect. I think the big issue was there's no build up. I have no like, there's no anticipation, so it just happened and it hurt you. And that sucked. It needs something to be like, it's about to do something, you know, it's about to, there's got to be some anticipation. Like the snake strike is fine if it's comes out of nowhere, but this one was just a little too much. I'm thinking of making the whole thing like a light that goes around the whole thing or something before it lets out electricity. I kind of like this outline, but I don't know. I think I can do better. Okay, so I do need like a standard version. We'll grab this as an example. Okay. Let's see what I can do to this. I also I just want to play around with tonal correction real quick. Alright, we'll be the old version. Note to self, when I turn it to stone, make sure I turn the glow off. Otherwise it's gonna look weird. Let's see. Look, what I'm kind of thinking is making a texture or something that just kind of like animates over it, the whole thing. And you know, that's definitely possible without being that hard. Actually, if I just make it on a layer like this, I could do all kinds of fun stuff with gradients. Like, ooh, what if I did something like this? No. I don't know. Well, this seems right. We just need to rethink how this attack happens. What do you want? All this just so I can touch you? Is that all it is? So the idea, it's an attack that just, it's got to hit all the way around the snake. That way I don't have to animate the snake turning or biting in other directions. Just an attack that there's no way to hide from it. So it's like a big pulse. I could look at something like from Street Fighter. I don't remember his name. It's like Baraka or something. He has an attack that pretty much does this, where he shoots lightning all over the place. I could look at him as an example. Maybe it'll inspire me. What is his name? It's like Baraka, right? Oh, Blanca. With an L. Yeah, it's pretty much he's going to be doing exactly what Blanca does. Oh, here it is. That right there. This is the old one. I mean, it's basically what I just did in the last one. I don't know. Maybe I want to do something different. If it turns into stone, I could do something more stone related like Basilisk. So instead of shooting out electricity, it's more, it emits a light or something. I'm not going to do a turn to stone status effect though, for the player. I'm liking this idea though, the more I think about it. What I do is pretty simple. I'll just take him and I'll put like, let's do this. I'll make an outline like I did before, only now I know how to do it smartly. Let's see, what's the button combo I need to, there we go. If you hold Alt, it'll just increase it from the center point. Now I have a yellow outline. So I can just do this and it'll switch between yellow and white. Alright, so it'll be like this. Shift, Clip Studio is not fast enough to do it fast. Yeah, it'll be like this. It'll shift between yellow and white. And actually, if I do it through code, I can probably make it look even better than exporting sprites. But I'll just make it like the outline shift colors, and then I'll play some sort of attack animation that can actually hurt the player over top of it. I think that's the best way to do it. So it can start doing this before it actually does the thing that damages you, and that's the anticipation of it. I think I'm going to do just that. I'll probably try and do it in Game Maker, so I don't have to actually do this. Because it's easy enough. I know like shaders that create outlines. I'll try and do that in Game Maker, so I won't have to do that. So I just need to think, okay, it's flashing or whatever. What happens after the flashing and it attacks? I'm kind of thinking like just an electrical explosion, a burst that goes out. Instead of like lightning arcing, I'll just do like a burst. I don't know. I hate doing effects. And if I could buy a team of people, I would definitely buy somebody to do effects for me. I'd buy somebody to do backgrounds. We'd have a music and sound guy. I'm cool doing everything else. I'll do the coding and the art. I just want people to do that stuff for me. I don't really have that option, so oh well. I'm gonna look for some animations that I could use for an attack here. I know I've got a bunch of animations of explosions to pull from. I don't really have anything that goes off in like a big circle though. But I bet if I was to like Google like sci-fi EMPs, I'd be able to find something that looks just about like what I'm thinking about. I don't know. I think I'm gonna stop here though. My brain feels a bit fried. I mean, I was doing this for like, I don't know, 2 hours before the stream, before I started it up. So I've been going for like 5 hours or so straight. I'm definitely getting more into it, but I still can't do like all day. So I'm gonna stop here. I'll figure out whatever the hell I'm gonna do for this effect, and then we'll show it on the next stream. But it'll probably be some sort of lightning circle or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking I don't want to just do like a lightning shockwave. I might do something different. I just don't know what it is yet, but I'm gonna take a break. Anyway, later.